duplicate invoice detection. We will do this automation through macro. We will come to our folder. We have two files. One contains invoice data we are maintaining, and another file we have the macro to run and detect the invoice, duplicate invoice in this invoice data file. We can combine this one, but we keep it separate. So if we open this invoice data file, what is here? So there are some nodes here. First we explain something. So we have invoice number, and we can add invoice number bottom, vendor name, vendor ID, invoice date. This is the sample data invoice amount, and this is the remark column. If the invoice there is duplicate invoice, then there will be a comment here that duplicate invoice. So this will fill by macro. You don't need to do anything. In the notes tab, so duplicate invoice determine combination of vendor ID and invoice amount. So if combine invoice ID and invoice number, so there are three things: vendor ID, invoice number, and invoice amount. If they combine vendor ID, invoice number, and amount, if combining three cell and find any duplicate with other combination, then they will put as a remark here as duplicate invoice. And you need to keep this column header exactly as it is in the file, otherwise I need to modify the macro. So let's close this. So we don't have anything. This is the plain data. We don't have anything here, so we close this file for the time being. This is our macro file. So here one thing we need to do, we give the source file, means the invoice data file path to the macro, this cell. So to get the file path, select shift right click, copy as path, and paste in the cell C3. Now we run the macro, detect duplicate invoices. So dynamic duplicate highlights and marking completed. So let's check in our file, invoice data file, open. So based on this condition, combining ID, vendor ID, invoice number, and invoice amount, so you see these are highlighted one, and also the remark duplicate invoices. So now we can take our action that these are the duplicate invoice, and we remove one or multiple invoices.